I am jealous of you boys over there. You up on the mountaintop, Paul. At
Yeah.
Christmas, it's just you and Lou kicking it, right?
Yes.
Rah. Bob, are you Hi,
Susan,
Cassie.
Susan, you have
Oh,
to earn a Christmas, and a lot has to happen in the equation to get a Christmas later in your life where it's not crazy and kid fueled, and
well,
but the kids got to be older, the grandkids got to be far away.
yeah,
This
I
might be
must
the
be
year
earning. I'm in the earning process.
because your decision at our age could be, am I traveling this Christmas or not? Now, this is the new Christmas decision. Okay.
Got you.
So now if you're traveling, now you got a more complicated equation. So, but if
Got
you're
you.
not traveling, it's a very simple holiday and we're not traveling.
But not
End
at
of
my
discussion.
house.
End of it.
If you stay home for the holidays in my house, it's not busy traveling, but it's busy traveling every day in a car somewhere with somebody
Hovering
doing something.
nearby. Look who's hovering nearby.
Yes, you know she is. She's right out that door, probably right now. Marmy.
Savannah.
I know.
Savannah is in the house. So that house has to, do what it has to do.
Yes, indeed.
Right. All
Oh,
mine are
yeah.
gone. And,
Many
yeah.
years, many more years for Susan.
Yes, yes. But I
Of
love it
that.
all. It's all good. And Christmas is our favorite. I am a little strapped for personal time, but I don't know what I'd do with it.
When you
Are
hear
you
this
making the
episode,
full-on dinner, Susan? Are you making
Of
the
course.
full-on dinner?
I do
Yeah,
it every year, twice, as you all do. One in
that's
Thanksgiving,
what
one
we're
in
doing.
Christmas.
since this is the week after Christmas, right after that this
Yes,
airs,
I'm
how
full.
did that dinner go?
It went amazing. It was phenomenal. It was the best turkey I ever. I brined my turkey extra long so it was extra moist. That's the
Grind it extra long so it's extra
dude.
moist.
Yeah, what you do to brine a turkey, which a lot of times the white meat's not tender, and that's no fun. Uh,
Succulent. No.
Got to be succulent. And so what you do is you take an ice chest, you put your turkey in there all clean and ready to go. You put in a couple of cups of salt. And overnight, it sits in the water. You would think, oh my God, it's going to be too salty. No, what it does is it tenderizes, much like a tenderizer would,
It's called brining.
tenderizes everything. And guys, it's like butter every
Right,
year.
Right.
it's brining it.
Brining,
Yeah.
B-R-I-N-E. Yep. Easy to do. A
Salt.
lot of people go kooky with
Yeah,
it. Put
salt.
all kinds of stuff in there. I just put salt and water. And everybody always says, this is the moistest turkey ever.
Are you air frying, Paul? Do you air fry a turkey?
Well, no, no, it wouldn't fit in my air fryer.
Wouldn't.
It's
Okay.
just me. It's just me and Louie, but we still got like a 17-pound turkey.
Dude, I got a 19. I'm easing because I'm just
Yeah.
having the immediate family.
Yeah.
But we have to have my family needs sandwiches. They need the smell.
Yes.
They need it every time.
That's
My
why we're
mother-in-law
doing the
doesn't
big
get it.
turkey. Yeah.
You got to
I
have
know
the
you guys do
leftovers.
it too. Yeah.
Leftovers is as much as part of Christmas as the meal itself. Same with
Not only
Thanksgiving.
that, the smell in your house, mom. I mean, if you don't wake up and
Yep.
smell celery and onions, what? It's
I
any other
remember
day.
as a kid. I remember as a kid. Now we did turkey again. We did turkey Thanksgiving, turkey Christmas. But I
Correct.
had friends. Oh no, we don't do turkey on Christmas. We do ham. I go
Ham.
ham. And as a kid, I was anti-ham. They hadn't made a good ham yet, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh, how sad for those kids with ham for Christmas. I
No,
just
for
thought
real.
that.
The Broussards, here's how I came into this. So I wanted, I do Thanksgiving and Christmas like we all did, 2 turkeys, 1 month. It's the way it goes, 2 months. And mom, Sydney, told me, well, shoot, we just go to the movies and eat hot dogs on Thanksgiving. And I'm
Oh,
like, no. And so we'd started that tradition. And then when I'd whack around in December and tell her I'm doing it all again, she thought I was nuts. So she always
Yeah.
brings a honey baked ham. Honey
Yeah.
baked ham. And that works.
work. But when we were children, any ham our mom brought home
It
was
was
covered
bad.
with this goopy glaze and junk in it that was like, what's going on with this
Yeah, it was
ham?
gross.
And we didn't go for it.
No.
We
Yeah.
we didn't like it.
But she
It was
didn't bat
stinging.
it. She didn't bat an eye at making two full
So
turkey dinners, and nor do I. My mother-in-law, everybody, my friends, they think I'm nuts.
Yeah.
It's like
Me
that's
too,
how
actually.
I want to spend my morning, guys. I want to watch my parade
Yeah.
tournament of and or the other one and make my
Yeah.
bed.
So we're going to Dean and Becky's house for Christmas Eve, okay? And what they're
Okay.
doing, and so I'm excited about this, is they're taking 2 chickens and they're going to deep fry them.
Okay.
okay.
You know, in that big thing. You know, you've seen it in commercials where people put it in and it overflows and causes a fire at the
I
house.
do. I've seen
The
that.
Yeah,
deep turkey dive. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But they're
yeah.
doing chicken. Okay.
They're doing 2 chickens, so that'll be fun to watch because I've never seen that
We're going
action.
to fireworks.
Yeah, yeah. But
What's
what
Just
you
gonna
do
drop
is
it.
you
Yeah.
put the turkey in, and then you put water in to see how much oil you're eventually going to put in. So you put the turkey in, and then you take the water up. Then when you take the turkey out, you see how low the water is, and that's how much oil you're going to put in.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's going to overflow and become that huge volcano,
Like in the videos.
like in the
Those are
videos. Yeah,
great. Of
yeah, I
course,
love them.
everyone's going to be standing there rooting for an event to happen with Dean, I'm sure,
I'm afraid
that
so.
maybe you could film or save him from. But I wouldn't
Yeah,
want to think that, you know.
no,
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 no.
But
so
we've all
I
All
get
right.
seen,
to experience it. I mean, deep fried turkey, man, it sounds awesome.
Sure.
But
It doesn't sound like Thanksgiving, but it sounds awesome
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to me.
There's no
It's
deep
like,
fry.
there's
Oh,
no
no, that's
smell.
not right. No smell.
There's no smell. And the
Okay.
main problem with the deep frying deal is that there's no gravy makings
what's
because
the
you've
point?
come out of the bacon, there's nothing. So what I've done in the past, you guys are gonna laugh. But you know, we've gone over to Deanie's and they don't do gravy, and the kids all love Louis' gravy. But one year we went and we didn't have enough. You know, we were going over there. They wanted us to bring the mashed potatoes and gravy without any turkey stuff. So we made the mashed potatoes, and I went, and it was incredible. I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I
Mm,
bought a gigantic thing of gravy, and
yeah,
it was
that'll work.
immediately loved.
Yeah, that'll work.
Would
Everyone
not have
loves.
worked
That's a
at
smart.
my house.
That was
Oh, it
smart.
was great.
No, that was smart thinking. You could come in with that gravy and say you slaved all night and made that, and they'd
I
believe you.
did.
That stuff is
Well,
good.
what I have
Yeah,
done as a
yeah,
guest, knowing that I wasn't going to have gravy, I've made a turkey the night before and whipped up some turkey, some chicken. I mean, a chicken, and just
yep,
made some chicken gravy. It's
yeah,
fine. It'll go
yeah.
on, but there is no point to me in turkey and potatoes. I won't eat them without it. I'll eat
Oh, gravy.
potatoes somewhere else with chicken. I will eat turkey if I have to. There's no point in it to me without gravy.
Also, there's no point for me. I want to get up, put the oven on 425, whatever it does, and get that thing in, and then let the morning unfold. Okay, and the smell. You're
Yeah,
missing all this. You're missing all this.
Yes.
right.
Uh, right. But boy, that is an effective way. I've seen what calls Susan calls the videos, and they are amazing. I'll never do
Yeah.
it myself, you
No, we
know.
won't be
No.
frying them. I think our frying turkey days is over.
Yeah.
We do it
Yeah.
a lot in the South too, guys.
Hey,
Needless.
Yeah.
we have a guest today,
We
everybody. We'll
do.
get to that. What time is it? I don't
We're
even
good.
know.
He'll be
Are
here in
we
12. He'll be here in less than 20 minutes. We might need to.
okay? So we can do a few things for Christmas because people have asked us a couple of things. Uh, what are 4 songs? Four is a lot, but I can reel them off pretty quick.
Yeah, it
What
kind
are
of helps.
4 songs that if you don't have them in your playlist, you've missed the holiday season, you've missed the Christmas season without these 4 songs in your playlist. You listen to them every season, and you're not gonna not hear them this season also. So what 4 songs?
I
Who
can
wants
do.
to go first?
I
Go
do
ahead,
because
Susan.
we had a parlor game the other night. What needed one, so I know what one of them is.
Okay.
What was your one song? So one of my songs would be "Merry Christmas, Darling" by Karen Carpenter. The greeting cards have all been
We know
sent.
what that Merry Christmas,
Merry
darling.
Christmas, darling. Yeah.
Happy New Year
Yeah. Oh,
to
that one. And ba-na-na, ba-na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na, chestnuts roasting. Whoever's
Oh,
doing that chestnuts roasting, what has the ba-na-na, ba-na-na,
sounds like Young
that
at Heart.
no, it's an intro though. It's a boom,
Oh,
da-na-na-na, chestnuts roasting.
it sounds like Nat King Cole's
Thank
intro.
you. It is.
Okay,
Good
I
job.
believe it is,
You
and it
you heard
sounds like
the strings in
yeah,
your
I
head
hear the
and you nailed it.
strings. I hear the
You
strings.
nailed it. Okay,
We've all
that
heard that album, you know.
okay, that song, ready? I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but if this is all I get for the rest of my life, 4 of them, I Need Frosty but I need the Ray Conniffs because it has to start off. Ooh.
Absolutely.
But
Right.
there's everything to
Plus
me.
artist, Frosty plus Ray.
Ray Conniff, anything, but that's cheating.
Yep.
And my final is I'll Be Home for Christmas by Judy Garland because she's so darn sad.
It's a good that's from that movie, Meet Me in St.
Yeah.
Louis, I think,
I
but that is a good
cannot
scene.
even, I can't think. I'm starting to cry, tear up now, thinking of the song, period. But then
Now it
thinking,
could have you might be thinking of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas
that's what
in
I
that
meant.
movie.
Oh, I
said,
said I'll be home. Have yourself. Yes, Bob.
Have yourself a merry little is on the bed and yeah,
Yeah,
right,
and
right.
she's not having one.
Very sad. Very sad.
And I've had a lot of Christmases like that.
Yeah.
So there I
All
am.
right, we
Those
got
are my
him.
four.
Paulie?
Well, I mean, Christmas songs for me, I always revert back to the church because
Right
those were some
on.
of my funnest Christmas times.
Me
And so
too.
I've got "Oh Come All Ye Faithful,"
Mhm.
Okay.
"Oh Holy Night,"
Okay.
That was one of mine. I had to. Mhm.
and then I loved "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree." Was that Patty Page?
No, that's
Lee,
Brenda Lee.
maybe.
Brenda
Might be
Lee.
Brenda Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw. Just I digress, but man, I saw what was her name? Peggy Lee.
Brenda Lee. We saw her. Yeah.
Oh, Brenda Lee. God,
Brenda
man,
Lee.
I saw her documentary. Man,
Dude, she was on our cruise. Believe it or not.
Wow, really? Oh, wow. I wish
I
I'd have
wasn't
known that.
registering her much. Oh no, that was
Not yet.
Darlene Love. Wait, is that who
Oh,
I'm talking
yeah,
about?
no. This
No,
girl was a
Brenda
small
Lee.
little teenage girl, and
Yes.
she would just
No,
rip
Brenda.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
She
she's got
ripped these songs.
she has a commercial out. She has a commercial out right now because she's got a new record out, and she's this tiny little lady at a Walmart walking around showing you her record.
Oh, fun.
What if she did My Boy Lollipop? She did a lot of the
Oh yeah, she
little
was
girl
great.
ones.
Okay, go ahead. You have
All
one.
right. Oh,
Go
Holy
ahead,
Night,
Polly, you
oh,
have
come
one
all you
more.
faithful.
Rocking
Rocking
around.
around. And then, yeah, I'm coming up short on four. Coming up on four.
That's okay. That's all
It'll
right.
be another one of those kind of religious ones.
Holy Night for sure. And I know that belongs on Susan's side. I knew that would connect us. Oh, Holy Night is like whoever does a good version, I will accept that version. I also like the Silent Night that plays the other song at the same time. Do you know what I
David
mean?
Bowie and Bing. Peace
What?
on Earth, David Bowie and Bing.
Okay, so those two have, and that's been reproduced by many twosomes,
Drummer boy, yeah.
choirs even. So beautiful, so
Yes.
beautiful. And I like, oh yeah, oh come all ye faithful, joy to the world. The
Yeah.
traditional ones that remind me of St. Joseph's Grammar School.
So you
Yeah.
guys, you remember the Ray Conniff years, though, right? That's like at the Indian Avenue house.
Sure.
There's Ray Conniff.
Sure.
Sorry, guys.
What did he
The
say?
Ray Conniff singers, yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
sorry. Hey, you
Okay.
guys, pasties, this is a real-time moment. Paulie's on the phone. He
Yes, he
answered the
is.
call.
But nobody's
you know,
talking.
You have to
He
answer your
answered
phone.
it. I want to
You have
answer
to
I
my
answer your
phone.
Well, it's very
Uh-oh.
interesting about that, you guys, is that, when the phone rings, all we have to do is look at and we'll see a name.
Yeah.
And you know that person's in your world. So lately, like what you just said, I have to answer all these calls because it could be a doctor. But, otherwise, I don't answer any call that doesn't have a name attached to it.
No, that's a junk
Of
mail.
course, look,
Yeah.
guys. Early years in Los Angeles, I had 3 aliases at Bell South. I was Susan Cowsill. I was Susan Clare. I was Claire Sill. I was Claire Twilly. Because the phone ringing of Yo Money. That's what that reminded me of.
I was wondering, my solution
Absolutely.
was not answer or have a kid answer those years. We loved that. That was a lot of fun. And the kids remember, but whatever on that. But everyone
Oh,
has
that's
tough,
funny.
everyone has tough years. Everyone has tough years. All right. The other thing they wanted to know about was if you can only have one best Christmas memory, the best, not the worst, one,
Okay.
the number one, if you're only allowed to mention one of all your Christmases in life, what was it?
Hmm.
I have one.
See,
So,
my problem. Go ahead.
Because
go
I
ahead,
can't, I have one, I can't undo the visual
do it then. You
of
got
6
one.
bicycles in the Indian Avenue living room. So I get up And Indianapolis, I'm 14. This is a big deal. This is your new car
Yeah.
for us. This is your
Yeah.
new car. And man, there were 6 cars in the living room. And it just looked like a bike store. I'll never get over it. And I never forgot it. And there were many crazy ones and other ones that are fun, but that was the one I can't
Yeah.
unsee.
I
Yeah.
have I have a problem with my favorite one because it's one of my least favorite Christmases, but so I have to say
Memory's good.
the year I got Suba, I actually got a puppy for Christmas, man. Now that was a bribe moment to get me out of Newport, get me off the island, was the dog for Christmas.
You know, she was a Christmas gift.
Oh, Suba was a Christmas gift that was told to me sitting in the window of Hallidan when mom's going, we gotta go. And I'm saying, I ain't going. And she said, you are. But I have been talking to Santa early, and I do believe that that poodle you've been talking about might be in your future, but only if we move to Manhattan. I'm like, okay.
Suba,
Yeah.
Suba's living like a princess probably in Hallidan Hall above the Fifth Ward, and what a life.
No,
And you
he
do
didn't.
that to that dog?
No,
Okay,
he
well that's
didn't. He didn't get that life. He got. I had to wait to move to Manhattan to receive him. They
Right.
didn't get me a
oh,
dog to take. We took Curly with us, and then we got rid of Curly 3 days later, which blew my mind. At which point, Mom reminded me about Santa and this dog. Now, I think that was the Christmas that we were on Ed Sullivan. I think it was the Christmas
Right.
we had a party in our apartment after
we're
Ed
in New York.
Sullivan,
We
and
were on
Mom told
December
me to.
24th. We were
Yeah,
on
Mom.
Christmas Eve. Yeah, on
Yeah,
that
it was a
Sullivan.
Christmas Eve party back at
Yeah.
the apartment, not DR3, the one upstairs. And I remember Mom saying, put your stocking in the filing cabinet. We put our stockings in the filing cabinet, was there next to the desk. We went to bed, and I woke up and there was a dog, which kind of saved everything. But other than that, I was pretty miserable till I woke up. Because, like, all these people are in our apartment. When is this Santa person coming? What is
All
happening?
right.
We've
Susan's
been at
got
a theater
kid
at 8
brain.
o'clock at night. I'm usually in
Yeah,
bed, but Mom's
Yeah.
telling me
Yeah.
Santa knows we're on Ed Sullivan, all this
kid
stuff
brain
she's
in
telling me.
Susan's head. All right, so
That
we
was
You
got
really
know,
the year of the bike, the year of Suba,
You're the dog.
and
Paul, what do you
now
got?
Paul.
well, I got a little bit of something, something. So let everybody out there, all our listeners know, man, our mom was so into Christmas. I mean, she killed it. They had to go into major debt every year, which could have had a little bit of their, angst. But,
Too.
but so how mom dealt Christmas out was that, I mean, there might have been, and it could have been from somebody else, but there was never a present, under the tree that we would open up and go, oh, we got this from, I mean, Santa brought everything. And
And he
so,
brought it early sometimes.
well, we would just wake up. I mean, I can't specifically remember every single Christmas, but all I remember generally is that first it was going to be a good day, because it was, and then just so many kids and so much it would look like a toy store all in and of itself, and the thing that I remember, and I laugh about it now, but there was immediate arguing because as good as mom could do a pie slice off of the tree and then put something in there that indicates, yes, this is Bob's, yes, this is Paul, yes, this is Susan's, this is John's, this is Barry, this is Bill. Man, you would get down there and we would get down there before mom and dad were up, and now we're in the dark and now we're looking at stuff. Okay, so now the sun comes up, mom's up, dad's up. They could have been happier, but they were just happy we were happy, I'm sure,
They
and
were for a
not
minute or
screaming
two.
about not being happy. And they would just sit there. And so we would just constantly go there, and inevitably we got in a fight. Inevitably somebody goes, well, that's mine, I asked for that, and the other guy goes, well, no, this was in my pile. And it was always about, well, it's in
Piles.
my pile. Look at mom, who knows how she was building these piles late at 3 a.m. her and
Yeah,
dad, all
for
right,
sure.
we'll put this here and this there,
You
three
say,
sheets to the
Paul,
wind.
the whose pile is whose had to be cleared up relatively quickly because I remember it. Now, sometimes you walked out, either it was some gift that it was clearly
Yeah.
yours and that
Yes.
label. It's not like they put names on piles.
Oh,
Okay.
No.
You did have to figure it out. And
the,
chances are with the older brothers, if one of us got a dual holster with 2 cap guns in it, all 4 of us may have gotten that. So that's not
Yeah.
going to help who got the guns. Uh,
Yeah.
For sure.
It really had to think beyond the obvious.
Actually,
Yes.
that year I got at 1964 over at 611, I got a gun and holster. I was confused and didn't touch it. And mom, because we were Annie Oakley-ing a lot, Paul, I got a hat and a thing, but I didn't know it was mine. I assumed it was y'all's because mine's baby dolls. I know what my pile looks like. And it was all everybody, and the Barbie doll came that year, and everybody was like, what is this? And including me. And then mom told me it was all over, and she goes, well, go get your gun and holster. I'm like, what? And man, guys, I was more excited about that at the end of that day than anything.
So you're waking up to 7 of these piles. Okay. Now there's 7 kids, so it's like the 7 hills of Italy or whatever you're coming out to. It's like, and then it is an immediate, and she had to kind of make them even. I don't think if you saw a bigger one, you're going to start there. That's a bigger pile.
Sure.
I mean, I even remember a time when, Bob, it might have been you and I or something, but we were there, we were in our piles, and mom got up and she comes out. She goes, no, you're here. This is your pile, and this is your pile. You guys got it wrong here because there was a lot of redundancy in the holsters and the, all that.
Right.
But I remember
He probably heard
bad.
y'all.
Yeah, I felt bad as I got older, and thinking about it, but I remember sitting there, I got my pile, but I'm looking at everybody else's pile going, well, why did he get that? And,
God.
I would always
Children
kind of
are awful.
Yeah, we are.
There's an age dependent where you moved on. Like a couple of the older boys would get the John Nagy Learn How to Draw kit, but not the young, sometimes you could see based on that, oh, they wouldn't have gotten that for Paul.
I knew well.
They would have gotten him Winky Dink. They got me John Nagy. Holy mackerel, I'm older.
Right. Right.
A bunch of crazy things would come into play as you're doing a quick, and I mean, Paul said a very quick analysis of the piles under the tree. Because he's right. There's nothing boxed and wrapped in beautiful Christmas paper to Bob from Mom and Dad, to Paul from Bob, to John and Barry from Bill and Paul. Yeah, none of that's going on.
We didn't even start buying each other presents till the Santa Monica house, guys. We didn't. I remember. Oh, maybe New York, maybe.
No,
Bob, you got me a giraffe
Santa Monica
from FAO.
No, I bought you a.
You got me the giraffe from FAO. I know. I'll never forget that. And a blue dog too, that I could brush his hair. A blue fluffy dog. 2 things you got me that day. And you, Paul, you came in strong in Brentwood with you and Dean went in on the light up stereo system for my bedroom. And then I got given money to go buy presents for my brothers for the first time. I didn't know what to do. I went and got everybody Beatles posters.
Probably one of the biggest differences when we moved to New York City was that Christmas from Newport was all in the house, under the tree. It's all there. You take it out to play. You come back in. There's more stuff. Everything's there. When we went to New York, whatever on the tree, but it was the city. New York City we saw for Christmas for the first time. Central Park, the stores, the atmosphere. That was
exciting. It worked for me.
Very exciting to find Christmas atmosphere out there.
Absolutely.
As opposed to
had we not had that kind of Christmas there, I don't think I was going to recover from what I was putting mom. I was depressed. You don't remember the walk to the park, Paul, but I do. And I was very upset for being there. And mom was getting, and who was really getting pissed because I couldn't, I was a little girl. You just took me from a rural island. I had been to Providence. And you put me in Manhattan and I was freaking out.
A place where you stepped out Christmas morning, it snowed, and you go, not enough, can't use my new sled, to a place where you weren't going to get a new sled. So it was really going to be different. And it really was. Yeah. I was older, so I picked up on that immediately. It's more.
But it did save me the beauty of that city, the magic. I had never seen anything like that before Christmas either. And that made me go, holy cow, this is like being at the North Pole.
Yeah.
So
it was great.
Oh, we love our Christmases, man. I look, this one, I mean, the little guy, she hasn't tried, she's a strange creature. Because, we figured decorating night was going to be hell over here because she was just going to tear it up. No, she's walking up, she put her duck on and then touching it, very reverent about it. But look, last year when she was 1, she was trying to put her little blocks on it and they would fall. She was watching her mom. and she'd go up and put a block up on it and then look down. She didn't get it. Why isn't this just sticking on the tree?
Oh, yeah.
So it was really great. She loves it. She's ho, 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 Santa, bring me something. She doesn't understand, but she's got the verbiage. So it's pretty fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she knows what to say, what to do, rode the train. It was great. But
did Savannah go see Santa at a
store? I didn't
store?
want to leave.
Oh, okay.
She just sat there and then it was time for her friend who came with her to do it. And SJ just sat there because they're friends. S was not ready to leave. And she watched Elaine do her thing. She's like, oh, yeah, it's Elaine's turn. There's pictures of SJ just watching Santa talk to the other kid.
Yeah, oh, wow. Cool.
She digs that. She likes crazy magical things and animals. She's like more prone to them than people.
Bob, I can't remember, but during Christmas, so just during our time in New York, there was Gimbals still going?
Macy's and
Gimbals? Macy's and Gimbals. Okay. They were both there still.
Bloomingdale's, Macy's and Gimbals.
What I remember of moving to New York, I didn't really care that we weren't going to have the Christmas or all that. But to your point, Susan, of the beauty of the city, man, it was a magical time. It seemed almost more magical in New York City than it seemed anywhere else in my life.
It was magical. It wasn't home Christmas. It was the kind you think is out there where he lives and whatever goes on out there, where he comes from, whatever possibly. Yeah.
And we're the hillbillies coming out of Newport, remember?
Man, just the windows.
We come in and we come from where we're decorating a tree we never put outside lights on, to decorating a city. So it really got our attention.
Yeah.
Wow, they really got into it.
I don't remember Thames Street having lights on it or anything like that. It was dirty old Thames Street.
Just when we went to New York, it was from small town to big city. Yeah. And
all of their windows in every single giant store had a giant tree, and it was
we were also in the city of the movie of what's the Christmas movie?
On 34th.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool being in that city, knowing that this is where all that went on.
Mom took me everywhere. We went, of course, Macy's right at the corner. We relived everything she worked hard to get me to like that place. I was so glad we left. I hate it.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
There was nothing I was gonna like about New York.
Yeah. So I wish we could answer the phones and people could call in, because, I love that question. I want to know other people. I would love to know some of our listeners' Christmas moments or Christmas.
You know what they tell us? They'd tell us, I went down and I opened up and I got a Cowsills album and it was my best Christmas.
Oh, well,
I know Darlene Baldwin and Lynn would probably say that.
Oh, God, yeah,
cool. Told me that before.
I don't remember ever receiving music for Christmas. Music as a gift, an album, I guess all I could come up with be an album. I mean, we didn't have CDs or cassettes.
We were never, music came into my life as a gift with Paul and Dean that Christmas. And then I went down to the record store and I bought the Jackson 5 album, the Carpenters. I was like, I have a stereo. And Mom took me to someplace down in by the beach, and we went to a record store and I got all Christmas records. And man, I decorated my room that year. I went to town because I had my own world in there, because Polly and Beanie.
Little Anthony is 3 minutes late,
but he's allowed.
And I've spoken to him yesterday and this morning because he's just waiting to do this.
Yeah.
But if some technical thing happened, you never know. We'll hear from him.
So cute. I wish you could do a NyQuil commercial, Bob. You'd be so great right now.
Oh, my voice, yeah.
You just sound like a traditional cold commercial.
I do have that sound.
Yeah, can he come out and play? Remember that commercial about the bear aspirin? Can Jimmy come out and play? And the mom would say, he still has a temperature and he still can't come out.
Don't know that commercial. I must have not seen it.
You're old and you were long gone. You didn't watch TV. You barely know my name.
I could have been gone. But I wonder if I should call.
Listen, if little AT doesn't show up, which we know that's happened before because of technological, heck, it's happened to me on the other end of not getting in somewhere.
Little Anthony, just so you know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Little Anthony and the Imperials. going out of my head. I'm on the outside looking in, which I want to ask him, is he doing it this summer? He didn't the last time. I'm curious about that.
Oh,
Going out of my head, all the
what
big
was his
hits.
first one? His first one, Tears on My Pillow.
Here's on my
Tears
pillow.
on My Pillow, 61. That was his
Pain
first
in
hit.
my heart.
Pain
Hot.
in my heart.
Pain in my
Yep.
hot.
So we
There's
got,
somebody at my door. I'm going to grab it while I have a second.
and this guy was a youngin' like us,
He was. He was 17 or
navigating a
16. Yeah.
More packages.
Yeah.
You guys
be.
got a lot of packages.
Shouldn't call him and say, he's called me twice. I could call him and say, "Hey, where are you?" Oh
No,
man,
that makes you crazy. No,
I
don't
thought it
do
was
that. It makes you
2 o'clock.
so nervous. If he's trying to work it out, it'll make him nuts and he'll screw
Yeah.
up everything he's doing. That's what would happen to me if I got a
Yeah.
call while I was trying to get on, I'd lose my mind. Just
You want to
saying.
make him nervous.
We don't. You could text him, but I don't know. You know, sometimes old people don't do text.
Hey, everybody, listen, all the listeners out there, we got to tell you, you know, if you have never seen Little Anthony, you need to come to the Happy
Only to
Together
see him
tour.
go like this.
And you need to
dance
see
like
Little
that.
Anthony inside you need to see Little Anthony inside this Happy Together tour, because very much like all the rest of us, it's really fun to hear Anthony's biggest hits back to back in a row. It's like, you know, you keep getting
You
knocked out. You
remember,
go,
even if you're too old, too young, you still know these tunes. Trust me, if I do, you.
pretty
It's
much.
reached, yeah. His hits reached
Absolutely.
all of us.
And he nails it. And he nails it
Oh my
beyond.
gosh, out on the tour, yeah, man. And he is such a fun guy. I
Yeah.
mean, gosh, me and Susan, I mean, oh, I got to remember to tell him. Well, I have here, how does he keep his voice in good
Yeah, we
form?
took on all of his anythings.
Right,
He was
because you know,
doing
we found out from Little Anthony that he does 2 teaspoons of honey before every show. And man, we started doing that and it works.
it works. It really works.
Really works.
Bob's going to join us next year. I just feel it.
Honey, I eat the honey. I love the honey.
You eat the honey and
Yep.
love the honey? I didn't know that. Who
I love
knew?
honey.
Look, and y'all, guess what, Casties? This year we put it on our rider. So they have a thing called a rider, and that's when you go out on a tour every night, wherever you play, whatever venue, they supply snacks and treats and drinks for you. And each
Yep.
band gets to pick out exact snacks, treats, and drinks that they want to be waiting for them at their show. And this is called a rider. You fill out a rider. And this year we've changed our rider from some less healthy things we were having before, and now we're down to tea, honey. What else, guys?
A 6-pack of Coke and that's it. And then
And
Ron's
some-
going to add
and some-
stuff to it. But
Yeah.
Susan, let's let these people know. So
Yes.
our first summer out, and even our second and
Oh,
third, I
yeah.
can't really remember. We would come to the dressing room, and there would be a complete food layout. There would be a meat platter with cheeses and all the different meats, and then a huge veggie platter. I mean, these
Huge.
platters were gigantic, like
Yeah.
they're going to feed a whole
Maddening.
shipload of people. And it was so much waste, and we just kept freaking
Can't
out
handle
and
it.
freaking out. And so now, 11 years later, and we have been breaking it down, getting rid of this, getting rid of that. But and then we thought, well, we'll just get wheat thins and some brie, and you know,
And some
you
water.
know, and call it good. Well, by the end of the tour, we've got, like, you know, 53 boxes of wheat thins that nobody's going to eat.
Wow.
What me and Susan finally started to do, and you know, there's a company, and it should be city to city, but there's a company that is involved in going and getting these kind of foods and bringing them to food banks, you know. But their company is, I have it written down because Susan, me and you this summer, every town
Yes.
well, we may not have that problem now because we've got our rider down to pretty much
For
brass
real.
tacks.
But we
But
have
there's a
been,
company, but Susan would always go and talk to the people bringing these platters and going, look, is there anybody that, you know, we can take this to? And we found out a lot of times the crews like for that to be left over, you know, and stuff like that. But it's got to be clean. It's got to be untouched, you know. And so
So there are organizations that will take these leftover
yes,
foods
that
now,
we can
and
get
we just
involved
not
in
at every
because
place, as Paul said,
yeah,
but we check them, and so but I think we've stripped it down. At least our own personal brains will not
yes,
freak out. And what
yes,
we started doing was like, okay, how many days does it take for the three of us to go through some wheat thins and then leave 2 boxes? And then when they're sealed, they can reuse those, Polly, right?
yes. We
They can
just
use
leave
them
them.
for another band.
I just because I've been contacting Anthony and hearing
Of
you
course.
guys, and I'm hearing these items, honey and wheat thins,
Getting
but
hungry
I
over
gotta
there?
tell you, there's 6 groups on this tour, you guys. So you go by some of the other dressing rooms, and there's the giant family pack of M&Ms, there's the giant cookies, there's the giant all the fun
Popcorn.
popcorns that are bad for your wine bottles. You can order anything you want.
Your
Man,
heart's desire.
And
your
that's
heart's
right. And the thing
desire.
is, people, like, and that's the problem with the rider thing. We're always the last guys out of the dressing room or the theater because we ride on the bus and we're waiting for the buses to take off at midnight usually or something like that. And so we'll go back in and man, everybody has left their stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, there'll
that's
be
right.
food layouts, all these different things are
Right.
all there. And so we can kind of pick and choose.
Yeah,
We
we
don't even
can.
have to have anything inside our dressing room because we can just go get what is everybody else's dressing room and be quite happy with the day.
And I would
You
like
order
to,
the
go ahead, Bob.
family size M&Ms and you go in, you go, what happened to the family? They're not even open. And they're
Yeah.
gonna have a family size M&M the next day too at that venue, and the next
Yeah.
day, and the next. So
Yes.
I do always think I picture people like with little suitcases they brought out, and someone's just, by the time you're done, you're gonna have 57 family packs of
Yeah.
M&Ms
I
if
can
Yeah.
you do
tell
it every
you,
night.
because I share Big Red with Dante and Volman, I can promise you that sometimes I'll open up my drawer. Big Red, you guys, is a wardrobe case, very large. Several people could be in there, and 3 of us are.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'll open up my drawer with my shoes sometimes, and I will find an adult-sized giant bag of those M&Ms that Bossy has thrown in there. Then a couple of days later, I'll open up, and it'd be gone. So
Yeah.
Bossy's
Oh,
memory is doing quite well because he knows where he stashes his treats.
Yeah, we are not flippant about this. You just don't walk in at the end and think that what's left you can take. You got to be
No,
careful.
no.
You got to time it right. You could be
yep.
taking it too soon. Where are my M&Ms? And you
Yep.
thought they were done.
Yep.
The whole thing.
This is
It's
really
all
true.
it,
I'm
it
laughing because I'm seeing Bob. I mean, you guys, when we're at the show, you see us, right? You're coming to the show and you see the show. So as soon as Bob and Paul and I are done, we are now making our way through life. And what's going to happen is in a few hours, we got to get back on the bus. So we have a few things we need to take care of between our show and that finale, other than
Yeah.
standing and enjoying where you see us often, which is, as Bob says, I'll be right back. I'm going to go check the blah, blah, blah status in
Yes.
dressing room B. And then we go, cool. And I saw some XYZ and over, because if everybody's left, frankly, it's all up for options.
and then you'll see an item. I remember one time I came in
This is funny
and
as
I went,
heck.
who orders this? And it was microwave
Yeah.
popcorn. So I said, microwave popcorn. These people want microwave popcorn on their rider, and you really do this. You look to the left, you look to the right. You're like a criminal. Even though
Yeah.
it's safe, it's late. They're gone. They're back at their
Yeah.
hotel room.
It
Oh
is a
God.
criminal moment, and that is
You
what's
gotta
fun
lift it.
about it.
You gotta lift it.
I love
That's
Yeah.
it.
it.
I want to also share something about riders in general. We're kind of educating our guys. They don't know how our industry runs, and riders have been around forever, guys, and they are, record companies have them. They're just the extra things artists need, and most venues have them. But I will tell you, if you are not a higher up kind of person, you can have a rider all you want, and most of the venues you get to, you'll get there and you'll see the water you asked for and the bag of potato chips, and you'll go, did that juice make it? It's like, we didn't get the juice, we don't got that juice. Okay, that's, hey, no problem. Did the vitamin C pack? No, we don't got. Most people. So okay, over the years, and I mean years of riders in my life, so
Yeah.
what starts happening at one point is you start putting stuff on there, like, because they don't care. They don't going to give you anything. In most places I'm going, they're giving us nothing. So I start putting flowers, candy. I'm asking for stuff, candles. And then so because they're not giving me anything.
Okay, we're
So
good. We're just chatting without you, Anthony. Just want to check in
it's
with you.
exciting. Let's listen.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Love it. And so go ahead, Bob. What did he say?
I'm at the house. I'm going to be there in 5 minutes. You know, we know what he sounded like. So he's coming
Uh-oh.
in.
You
This is
guys might
great.
miss me then. I'm gonna have to, hey, everyone, I have to
Oh,
tell the
no, we're
captain.
not going to keep him for 45 minutes. We'll
No,
do
but if he's
20,
not
30
even at his
minutes.
house yet, he still has
20,
to get set
30.
up.
We got this guy.
All right, but listen, I want to finish my rider story. So most of the times in my solo career before Happy Together, let's just say that Continental Drifter, solo, anything else I've ever done, riders are a joke out in the club world. Okay. So, but sometimes you'll get somewhere and they'd be an uber Cowsill fan. Okay. And I would show up and there's candles, flowers, candy, everything in the world that's on this ridiculous rider of mine that I bumped up because nobody's giving me crap anyway. So anyway, I just wanted to share that sometime. So there's no real rider like the van, the 15 passenger van club circuit. It's all like the heck with you. But sometimes you'll show up and it'll look like you're Zsa Zsa Gabor if you got my rider. With all
Well,
this.
and to let the people really know what we're talking about, they've all heard about, hey, no green M&Ms.
Yes.
So when you guys hear that, that is the rider
That's the
that
rider.
they're talking to, and they better not have green M&Ms or something, or they better have green M&Ms.
Yeah. And it's just a piece of paper. A rider is like in a contract. They'll have all the information about the venue. They'll have the information about your hotel, whatever. And then they'll say what the rider, it's just called, it's a piece of paper with what you want on it. I never know.
And the other
Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I was just going to say, and the other thing about the rider and the waist and the waist and the waist is that they serve dinner. When we go to these venues, they have lunch. Sometimes they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so the dinner, people eat the dinner and then they have all this food in their dressing rooms, not us, fortunately.
Yeah.
And it's just all left there because how much can you eat out there, you know?
You can also, for anybody that wants to study further about this topic of riders, you can go online and you can look up the most insane, craziest riders of famous people. And you can go find out what real famous people have on their riders. It's
what they
way
wanted.
beyond M&Ms and the family pack.
Riders are fun. It's fun. You know, if you ever want to know how any of this goes, y'all, it's all out there. There's bus rules. If you want to know what a standard like bus rules look like, because JC has shown me, it's all you Google it. Bus etiquette. It's out there. You can find it, and that has to do with don't leave your stuff on the seats. Don't be in the alley. 12 people when you know people are coming through, and there's a million things.
We should let Anthony know right off the bat that this is just a visit. We're not going to start with, and so how did all this begin? We know about that. That's online. You can research this man's accomplishments. He's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got another one.
He's amazing, train.
We got another one.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
What I want to ask him, I hope I get to, I want to know about, so when Linda Ronstadt covered Hurt So Bad, it was a huge hit, y'all. When she covered it in the 80s, did she call him? Did she go, yo, little Anthony? Did he did he get a call that went, hey, buddy, your bank account's about to go ka-ching because Linda Ronstadt's covering Hurt So? I don't know if he wrote it, but I mean, I'd like to know if he was involved or it's not even a blip on his radar. Because for me, Hurt So Bad is Linda. Okay. But when I heard Anthony singing it on our tour, I remembered being in Auntie Jean's car with Grandma going to the beach. I don't know, going somewhere in Jean's car and hearing it coming out of the radio with that voice, that voice of his, But I'd like to know that. So if for some reason I'm not here, somebody else.
He's done Ed Sullivan twice, like us, so we got that.
And craft music. He was also on the craft music calls.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Really?
Yeah. And that to me is such a. They're like family to me when I think of craft music. I think of like family memories, not so much a show, as strange as that might sound. Because do you guys remember the first one we did with Eddie Arnold? The first craft
show? Oh, the craft, yeah.
And look, there's a segment between he and I that isn't out in the public. You cannot find it. And it is me. I am lost at the fair. And I have lost all my brothers and family. We saw it through Louise, but you can't, it doesn't pop up. You can't go find it like the Jack Wild, our thing with craft on the craft sites. I don't find it.
Oh.
So I saw it just like one time and I barely remembered it. I was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh yeah. And I was as cute as I could have been, y'all. I just want y'all to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super cute. Well, I'm very excited. It's poor Anthony. I know what he's going through. First of all,
he's
he's
gonna be
get home
a little frazzled.
and then he's got to get on a machine that none of us really understand. It's like the first light on the wall. Whenever somebody said flip that and the light came on, they didn't know how it worked. They just did it. And this whole Zoom thing and computer thing, we don't.
Here, we'll have to grab them somewhere.
We're gonna, God bless and all that. So yeah. So okay, so we have plenty else to talk about, you guys.
If it's taken 10 minutes, we'll know that he's having trouble.
I want you to know that I am going on the Big Easy cruise. Our Star Vista friends, I'll be seeing them in January as a civilian. I will be a +1 of Mr. Russ Broussard, where we will have the New Orleans contingent.
Am I missing anything?
No, just you, love. Good. Look at you. Wait,
I had one of those days, I swear. I really
That's okay.
do.
Well, guess what, Anthony? You're just going to park it here with us and relax. This is
wait a minute, let me get into my relaxing mode.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about a thing here.
I went to the post office, dude. I thought it'd take me a few minutes. The line was outside the door.
Not at Christmas.
And I'm going, maybe I should stay. Maybe I should go. And then finally, when I got up, it was like 10 minutes to 2. I said, well, I'll get this done. Then somebody started going real slow. And like, oh, no.
It's a post office at Christmas. What are you?
I forgot it was. I totally forgot that.
That's okay. Here's the good news. This is not an interview. It's a visit.
Yeah.
Like a conversation. Yeah, like I do.
Everyone can look up what you've done. You got in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And not only that, this one impressed us more than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He got in the Wolf Den Hall of Fame at Mohegan Sun.
The Wolf Den.
Yeah, he got that. Okay, in 2011. We didn't even know they had, and we played the Wolf Den plenty. No one invited us to a Hall of Fame.
Did you know that? Do you know that we came in there in 1997 when it was just a TP, like that first part of the hotel?
Sure, I see it.
Hotel, just the TP, where the Wolf Den is in. That was it.
Oh, wow.
So we were going there every year, close to 20-something years, and they said, you got to be in the Hall of Fame. They've been there so many times.
Hey, wait. Hey, did they make up the Hall of Fame just for you, maybe even?
No, they got other people in there that have did their time there. But
we're gonna have to call them, you guys.
Yeah, you can find that out. You can find out. I know somebody
else. A reference letter.
His name is in there. I just can't remember his name. But anyway, we got inducted in there, and then on top of that, I'm like an honorary Mohegan. You can call me Chief.
We can call you Chief.
No, I ain't no Chief. I just knew somebody was a Chief.
Look. He's getting brought in and we're being kicked out of these places. But anyway.
We're very impressed with you can be a chief in Mohegan. Right, because our experiences, we had this hit called Indian Lake. And we have one casino, they didn't like it at all, and we're not allowed to play there. So we tend to.
I know, because you got that song.
I know.
Yeah.
But
can you imagine a song that you did that was a successful hit? Get you thrown out of the hotel?
No, we can't, especially seeing as though we played there 9 years in a row prior.
And Susan Cowsills, as a 7-year-old, was such a threat to the Indian nation that we have to make sure she remembers what she did. You little rotten kid.
I know her.
I came up with those war hoops and it ruined everything.
It didn't. I don't think it took.
All right. This is not about the Cowsills, however.
Oh, okay.
No, this is about little Anthony. And he's all okay. And so in the front of our podcast, Anthony, I get to kind of start us off because I like to take it back further than the news media will tell us. In other words, we all know you're little Anthony of the Imperials. You're a million years old and you're still kicking and moving and grooving and shaking.
Yeah,
right? I'm sorry, and one. But that's not how it started. No, no, no. And not everybody who ends up being a musician, a singer, an actor, a dancer, not everybody starts out that way. They have other aspirations as little people.
Yes.
I am curious, did little Anthony have an idea of something he might want to do other than music? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to be a garbage man. I want to be a fireman. I want to be, I don't know.
All of the above. But anyway, what a lot of people don't know, that I have been a bona fide actor long before I was known as little. I did many plays, many things in New York as a kid. My mother was a stage mother. And I did quite a few stuff. I studied there. I studied in California with David Alexander for like 2 years. I've done 2 or 3 movies in character that a lot of people didn't know. One of the OJs was looking at me on the Jeffersons one day, and I was playing this part in the Jeffersons. I think it was called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or something. He gets locked in. He gets locked in an insane asylum. He can't get out. With the clothes, the laundry, and I'm in there, and I got an invisible dog. Well, I got to get this afro, and I got my beard.
An invisible dog.
Yeah, no one knew. And then I get a call from Eddie Levert of the OJs. He said, "Hey man, I just bet somebody $100 that was you on that show." We'll call not Good Times. I forget what the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, it was me." And he said, "I knew it.
That's
so he $100. Yeah. And so I've done all of that stuff. In answer to your question, before I was a little, I was that's where I thought either baseball. I was going to be a brain surgeon for sure.
Look at this. I'm gold here with Anthony. Go.
Yeah. So I started as a child actor. My mother sort of used to hear me. She said when I was a child, she would pass my room and the door would be closed, sound like there's 5 people in there. Because I was doing my imagination was doing all the arts. And she says, either this kid is a loony bin or an actor. She chose actor, the latter.
Wow.
And so she started taking me to Star Time Studio and all these different places. And they said, Donovan, he's got a little talent. So that's one of the things that I thought. I carried that all the way up to 1982. I mean, you asked me a very interesting question, young lady, and I'm glad you did, because it gives me a chance to explain more than what you think. I once was called in to MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, and Culver City, California, Los Angeles. And it was Rita Park. And I, at that time, had an agency, or an agent by the name of Myrna Eisenberg, was well known. And she knew that I was had another kind of a talent. And I was working with David Alexander. And I got one of the many calls I got. And I ended up getting a call, and there was a young lady by the name, I believe her name was Gloria Agorio. I don't know, she was a writer, one of them people off Broadway. Mm-hmm. She saw me in a play, and she was stunned. And she told Robert De Niro, who was her friend. I get a call. They call me from MGM. Robert De Niro says, "Listen, I heard this guy, I know him, Little Anthony. He's like from New York and this and that. And I'm doing this movie about Vietnam veterans, and I really want to use New York guys, So, I went in and read 3 camera, got the gig. 2 days later, the writers' strike came in, 1980.
Oh my!
It lasted a year and a half, I think.
Yeah, it was a long one.
That I could have bit somebody.
Well, what was the name of the movie?
Yeah.
So De Niro wanted, wow, that's, yes.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead, Bob.
Time out.
Go ahead.
So from that to 1980, now from that to 1980, you got like 5 million sellers. Okay, so whatever, it's like this singing career, like no one's going, that's not little Anthony from, nah.
No.
I mean, you got two things going on.
At the same time.
That's
Yeah.
And
cool.
I would have went straight into baseball because I was a very decent baseball player, and they say I had some talent. But I just was but the singing part came very natural to me. My mom was a gospel singer and she sang with my aunts. The dad was Baptist gospel singers. My dad was a band leader and also played alto and tenor, and he played with Buddy Johnson Orchestra and Etta Johnson.
Holy moly.
Yeah, and then when I was a little child, I remember he used to take me to what was the name of this place in Harlem? Oh gosh, my brain went into neutral. Some very famous ballroom. And
we all know the name of that.
Apollo?
and that's where I saw Duke Ellington.
The
Apollo?
probably.
Yeah.
Not the Apollo.
And no, it's the why it doesn't come to my brain, I know not. But
That's quite all right.
it'll probably come after this whole thing is over. But I was around show people as long as I can remember. Either they were gospel singers or they were just singers. Even in my family, they tell me that my great grandfather was a great singer. So it's a bloodline thing. It just
Absolutely. It sounds like
my brother Donald he had more talent than his little finger than I ever thought of. But yeah, he didn't make it. It just didn't happen for him. So
did he try? Did he try to make it?
Well, I think he did, but you guys can understand this, man. Without having that number one thing called passion. Once I started really getting into singing and acting, it was just, this is what I want to do. There was no doubt in my mind or anything. Like, okay, now I know what I'm going to do. So I didn't care about thinking about money. I was thinking about, I'd give you money to sing. I mean, it was like,
yeah.
I just want to entertain. I was like, I just want to entertain. And so that's my true destiny. And there's so many complex parts in my life that I even ended up with a radio show that I didn't even lobby for, you guys, on Sirius Radio.
When was that? You have it now?
About a year and a half ago, I get a call from Sirius Radio, and by a man by the name of Steve Leeds.
We know him well.
You know Steve, yeah. Steve calls me up and he says, "Hey man, Lou Simon, one of the suits up there, happened to be driving in Jersey down the turnpike or something, and he turned on the radio and you were on there doing Black History Week."
Cool.
And what amazed him was you not only were talking about it, but you were acting out the parts of the people. Sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it. Like I'll talk like Mom the Baby or things.
I love it.
And he heard. He says, "I've never heard anything like that." So next he said, "Would you be interested in having your radio show?" I thought about it for 2 seconds. I said, "What a hog wants slop." Yeah.
Yeah.
We understand that too.
Yeah.
All right.
It's weekly.
Yeah. It comes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I believe Monday at 7:00. And it's called Little Anthony and the Music on 50s Gold. Now it says 50s because I came in the latter part of the 50s. And originally we started just playing stuff like Rosemary Clooney and how it grew into rock and roll, that kind of thing. But then it evolved and grew to now just about any decade.
That's
I had the pleasure of doing a simulcast with little Stevie's
Steve Van Zandt.
Van Zandt, we know.
Van Zandt. And I was blown out. They said they want to do a simulcast with you. And I went down to Miami and he was in New York. We did the simulcast. We're supposed to last for like 45 minutes, last 2 hours.
Yes.
What it was, we were in conversation like we're doing right now.
That's right.
This is not an interview. This is a conversation.
Right.
And we
That's
we winged it. And we didn't know. He would say, "Hey, I heard this." And hey, he says, "You know how I got the name Little? Did you ever know that?" I said, get the, well, maybe it's because you're little. And he said, no. He said, when my very first record my mother bought was Tears in My Pillow. And you were my idol. So I call myself Little Stevie Van Sant.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Look,
You're
I have a
kidding.
question. I have a question because I noticed. Look, our career is defined by our hit records, and then we didn't have them, and then now
Yeah.
you're oldies group, and then you're a legacy group, a kinder word, I guess. But I have a question because this is what's unusual about your story, this gap. So 61, you have Tears on My Pillow. That's a million selling #1 hit record. You did it.
Actually, it was 58.
Oh,
58. Okay. You're gonna wait until I think 64 to
Yeah.
reel off 3 or 4 more. It's
Well,
like,
what happened was
yeah.
yeah,
we
what's going
reached
on
our
there?
peak. We reached our peak. That was the end of that old 12-track, 4-track, 12-track era. And now it's going into 18 tracks, 24 tracks. It's different. And we're around this 1960. And so we got a bit discouraged because we weren't as in demand as one would think we should have been. We weren't. And so I said, I'm going back into acting. And I broke away.
Oh my.
Away from 61 to 1963.
Great question,
We were
Rob.
still friends. We were hanging out, but I wasn't singing with the Imperials. They were actually singing, but they were doing a lot of stuff up in the bar circuit, all up in the Catskills, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they were right in the Concord, all the different places. And they were learning and honing their craft. And they were learning 4-part minor harmony and all this kind of stuff. And when I rejoined them again, I had to catch up to them because they had advanced so far harmonically than where I was.
Did they
And
come
it,
and find you? Did they come and find you to get you in because they couldn't sing like you can sing? We need a
no,
guy
what
like Anthony.
they were doing okay, but what happened was a guy by the name of Ernie Martinelli was our manager. He was he headed a theatrical agency called the Martinelli Agency. Him and his brother Johnny,
Sounds familiar.
and we just knew each other for a long time, and he said, you know, I think I can get you cats a gig at Little Anthony Imperials at the Town Hill. Now the Town Hill in Brooklyn was the club. It was like the Copa of Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So everybody was anybody playing it. And we said, wow, really? Yeah. And so we got together for that reason. We just thought, well, we'll do that gig, make the money, and I go off do what I want to do.
No.
But we were so successful. They kept bringing us back and back and back and back. And between all of that, I had a man by the name of, excuse me, Teddy Randazzo, who I knew when he was with the Three Chuckles in 1956. Yeah, I was 15. And I met him, and I was an opening act for Alan Freed.
Okay.
Alan, Big Beat show in New York Paramount. And anybody was on the Platters, Frankie Lyman Teenagers, the Harp Tones, it was huge, you know. And we opened and we did one song, Prove It Tonight. I'll never forget that one tune we opened the show with. And Teddy his dressing room was next to mine. And he would always come down and sit in the wings. And he'd look at me and he said, that guy got something. And this guy can sing. I mean, the late Teddy Randazzo was one heck of a singer. You can Google and see him on all the Ed Sullivan shows. He was on there all the time.
Okay, cool.
And he was in partnership with a man by the name of Don Costa. Don Costa was Frank Sinatra's and Tony Bennett and all those people's arranger and scorers and all that. But he started a record company called Don Costa Productions, DCP. And his first client was Steve Lawrence. Steve Lawrence.
Okay, Anita Gourmet. Okay.
Yeah. And then they had Teddy wrote a song for them, Go Away Little Girl or something for him. And that was Steve Lawrence's first commercial hit.
Okay.
So a lot of good things happened for them after that. And my manager and friend, Martinelli, ran into Teddy. And Teddy on Broadway. And Teddy said to him, listen, what are Little Anthony Imperials doing, man? I really like to work with Anthony. And he said, I knew him when he was with this group called the DuPonts. Like fast forward, this is like 2000 and 2000. When am I talking about 2000? 1964.
Yeah.
And that 2-year gap I told you about from 60, never doing, and we up at the Town Hill and started the whole thing. And we actually got together with Teddy. And then Teddy said, remember I told you one of these days we're gonna work together? That's 7 years later.
Holy cow.
He actually told me he had me on his mind because he said, well, something about me, when he would listen, the songs he was writing could never get anybody to really hone in to what he was trying to explain, his feelings. Well, you know, guys are writing, you write the experiences. And his was with women was not very good.
Oh,
So you notice all the songs he did, he did the pattern. Outside Looking In.
Yep.
Going Out of My Head. Hurt So Bad.
Hurt So Bad.
Take Me Back. All of them was about this one woman was his wife that he was trying to reunite with.
Oh, wow.
But it didn't work. And his heart was broken. So like a writer, he put it on paper, on his piano, and he wrote it down. But everything he did it was like he himself felt, great as his voice was, he couldn't convey that. Wow. And he said, once he knew that I was loose and around, he said, that's why when I saw Ernie, I want to tell these cats to come up there. And that's when we met Don Costa. And that's why our career went, it just went to another
cow. That is so cool. So, I mean, to me, and
it's one hit after another in a row. It's like boom, boom, boom. 64 was insane.
Yeah, and like when we went to Mr. up there, Teddy had a little upright piano, man, like Hoagie Carmichael or something, man. You're like, and he's playing on that thing, and he plays for us this tune. And Don walked in the office, and he was fooling around with the guys. Listen, why don't we do this? Down outside looking in, all that stuff. And I have an ear for any kind of music. I remember any melody. It's just the way it is. It's a gift. And I'm looking at the lyrics, and I started singing it. And he said, Don, come in the office. Listen to this. The name of that song was I'm on the Outside Looking In. We recorded that song. But Frank Sinatra, who was working with Don Costa, wanted that song.
Oh.
Trying to picture that in my ear. Keep going.
Yeah, he wanted it, plus another song too, which we all know was going on in my head, which he ended up doing as a cover to us. We did Outside Looking In. I got a backstory to everything.
That's
even
fine.
prior to that, all of us were like not signed. All the guys in the group were not signed to a record company. I was signed to a record company. If you ever talk to Tommy James or anybody who knows, but it was there, to a company called Roulette Records. And the head of Roulette Records was Morris Levy. Morris Levy
did that, huh? Okay.
was the mob. He was in the.
We know he was Tommy James's Morris Levy.
Tommy James and I, we both got something in common. We both got thrown out of his office physically.
Oh.
So,
what?
We laugh about it, but
well, you tell that story.
Yeah, and when we went up there and after Don Costa heard us sing Outside Looking In a little bit, he says, listen, man, I want to record that. Everybody free? And everybody raised their hand. I'm free. And I go, no. He said, well, who you signed with? I said, Roulette Records. And Don Costa had that chair, man. He went, what? Morris Levy? I said, yeah, and he won't give me a release. He even threw me out of the office when I asked for it. Ooh. And I would die on the shelf. I would never be heard of again.
Sure. Die on the shelf or die in the back of his
if he couldn't
Cadillac.
Nobody could. You know, he just.
That's how he thought.
Wow.
Because he had that muscle behind him. Who's going to argue? And anyway, Don said, wait a minute, man. Give me a couple of days. I'll call you guys later. And a couple of days went by, we get a phone call. Come on up here. And when I walked in the office, Don was in that chair. I mean, I love that chair. Fond memories of that chair. And he's rocking with those, and he holds the paper up like this. He says, I got your contract. I said, what? yeah, you're free. We're going to record next week and blah, 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 blah. And I was like so happy and elated. I didn't think about how it was done, how he got it. 2 months later,
Oh,
I'm up at Teddy Randazzo's house in Nyack, New York. Beautiful home. And I just, for some reason, I just, Teddy, I said, Teddy, how did Don get that contract? And he said, you don't know? No, I don't know. He said he put in the call to Sinatra.
I need a little help.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
Wow.
Man, Anthony, you have crossed paths with everybody.
That is
Not
crazy.
everybody. My granddaughter said, Poppy, you know everybody. No, everybody, but I know a lot of people.
You know a lot of people, dude.
68 years in this business, man. You meet people.
But
Some are
you-
here
Yeah,
with
you
us,
do.
some are not.
I
I've
have-
been around that
Go ahead.
long
Oh, we
too,
all
but
have a question. Go ahead, Polly. Polly, you had to
Well,
say.
I mean, go ahead, Bob.
no, I was just gonna say we've all been around 58 years, but you
We
filled
don't all
yours
have those stories.
with amazing things. I mean, we tried to survive through most of ours. I'm just analyzing the difference between
Well,
pictures of him during those 58 years and the pictures of us during the 58 years.
we did. There's so many things happened and so quickly over those years. That's probably why the show has grown so much because I tell these stories. Back on the bus, I used to do that every night. I don't know if you guys remember. I get a call when we were on the tour from Billy Vera. Remember Billy Vera and the Beaters?
The
He
beater?
came to a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him.
He says, hey, man, we've been friends for like 50 years. And he called me and said, hey, man, you're going to be at that Beverly Hills theater there. Guess who's coming? I said, who? Priscilla Presley. She wants to see you. And she's bringing 7 people or something. She bought Beverly Sassoon or the Sassoon, whatever. And so I didn't, at the time I wasn't feeling too well, guys. I didn't even know that my heart was
Ticker thing going, yeah.
That's fixed. So well, that's wonderful.
Obviously, you're coming back. Keep going.
Thank God it's fixed. Anyway, yeah, that's why.
Bill Revere.
Yeah, Billy Rivera said, yeah. He says, yeah, man, she's coming. She got 7 tickets or something. I said, okay, well, I knew her already. And I bet you're asking yourself, well, how did you know Priscilla?
Yes. How did
Tell
you?
you.
Anymore. I'm not asking myself that at all. Of course, you
Elvis
knew her.
Presley, I met Elvis through Chuck Berry many, many years ago in the Fox Theater in St. Louis. And he had just come out with Hound Dog. And he really wasn't there yet to be that icon.
Okay.
And he met me and he was kind of excited about it. Very gentle guy, very quiet. You're just cool dude. He was very cool.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it. I just saw him. And then later on, I saw him again at the old International Hotel. We were playing in the theater there. I can't name of the theater, but it was Bobby Vinton, Red Fox, and the guys and me. And next door was Elvis in the
At the International.
it was called the International then, but it became the Hilton.
Yes.
Now it's something else. I don't know, Gateway or something they call it. But it was the Hilton then. And everybody, the whole world was coming out to see him. Well, he was like a bird in a gilded cage. I mean, he couldn't go anywhere.
Mm-mm.
Like he would tell us, hey man, you guys want to go to a movie? Yeah, well, yeah, we figured we're walking, like everybody else, go up, get your ticket. And no, he rented the whole theater
Oh, wow.
because he couldn't go to the theater.
Aw.
People would never let him go. He had his,
Right.
and all those guys, the mafia, Memphis Mafia around him. So he lived
Yeah.
in some really weird work. But and the only escape he had was his friends in show business. Red Fox, he's known for years. And he knew me from the first time he met me. So next thing I know, we get a note backstage and it says, Elvis Presley's in the room. He's coming to see the show.
Fun.
And so, what? And they carting off this whole area, nobody can get near him and all this thing. And like, we did the show, and after that, he says, Elvis, I want you to come out, come over to the table. And we came on the table, and that is when I got very intimate with him. Me and Clarence, especially Clarence. He liked Clarence because they like guns. Clarence got T-2000 guns, and they like to shoot. So he used to go out at night, 2 and 3 in the morning with Elvis because he had like insomnia. He didn't sleep at night at all, hardly. Sleep in the morning. And they'd go out and shoot guns every night. And every other night or so, we'd go up to the suite in the Hilton that looked like a 4,000 square foot house. It had a swimming pool in the suite.
Wow.
A regular
No.
lap pool. Yeah.
A
You
pool?
in your, are you in your young 20s, mid 20s
I'm like
doing all of this?
20. I'm like, what am I? Gosh, I forgot how old I was. 20. No, I was around the time when you guys started coming.
Anthony, how'd you keep your head
27,
on?
28. Huh?
How'd you keep your head on, brother?
I didn't.
Excellent.
By the grace of God, I didn't, buddy. I
Okay.
was with everybody else.
He had to refine it like the rest of us.
Oh, yes. It was maddening.
Go
So
ahead, Paul.
Anthony,
No,
well,
you,
I do
Paul.
have a question. Yeah. So Anthony, you toured with us a couple of summers ago, man. It was the most fun summer we ever
It
had.
was.
And that was because of you and because of listening to you and just you as a person and just a very loving person. And your voice, it still is impeccable. I mean, that first note that you sing, every night we hear the audience go, oh, I mean, there's
Yeah.
this incredible moan out of everybody, and you are super and incredible. How is it that you were able to have that high voice? You know, looking at 16, yeah, we all had great high voices at 16, but then we all went through puberty, and all of a sudden that kind of readjusts. And it seems to me that you never had that issue. How is it that was it through the grace of God that you were able to have this high voice your whole
Well,
life?
Holy, like I answer a lot of people. Well, right now I'm a little congested because I just came up with this virus my grandchild gave me.
Yeah.
Bob's having one his grandson
I
gave
think I
him.
ain't singing right now. I'd be in a lot of trouble. But it's really not natural. I came to the conclusion many years ago, supernatural, just God himself. There's no
Supernatural.
way at 83. I mean, sometimes you guys, I have a good night, you know, and I hit this note and I go, is that me?
Oh,
How did I do that? How did I get there? It was just as clear and strong.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
This is not natural.
Okay, it's
Awesome.
magic.
So, and if I would be telling you a complete lie. They say if you can remember the 60s, you weren't there. I mean, I was going berserk. You know what I mean? Did nothing to help this. I had to go
Wow.
to specialists several times where they told me I was on the brink of losing my chops. And it's the grace of God, man.
Oh, wow.
It's like I grew up, my life changed, the way I look at life and everything. And there was this voice. Now, obviously, I don't hit high seas, live in the high sea area like I always did back in my teens and my early 20s, but I can visit it now and then. Go
You
there.
can indeed, sir.
Get out of there. And so it's not the same, but what it is that I learned. Don Costa told me something that he said, don't take it to be an insult or anything. He says, you really sing good, but let me help you to teach you how to be a singer. And I said, what does that mean? And he told me, well, I work with some of the best in the business, man. And we talked about breathing. We talked about this. We talked about that. And what I got from him was a real foundation of really learning lyric. It's that time I spent with Don Costa for over 3.5 years. I just consumed all he was teaching me.
That's awesome.
And I would equate that to the recording studio, and it would come out. And what happened was I got the studying Sinatra, how he Tony Orlando, I'm dropping names now. Him and I were talking not long ago. And he said, hey man, you remember? He says, look, I met Sinatra. He says, he told me, always cross your T's. So I said, well, what does that mean? In every syllable, that you sing. And another man by the name of George Golden had a lot to do with that too. In the beginning of my career. I put those two together, listen to Don, remember what he said. And I learned that every word you say has meaning. And as an actor, that sort of kicks in a little bit easier for me. Because when I sang Teddy's tunes, I understand what he meant now when he said, I want you to be my voice. I'm thinking to myself, this guy can sing his butt off. He's talking to me about singing. I can be his voice. What he meant was I had something that he didn't, it was unable to reach. And I had it raw.
You can tell his story. That's what he learned. You could tell his story. And that's how.
Well, have you ever heard him say what he would say? You could say the word and. No. And.
Articulation. Articulation is what I believe you're identifying.
You don't remember me? Each syllable.
I remember you. Copy. Understood.
On my pillow.
Everything. And that's that code.
Yes.
That's that code.
That's all right.
Studying him. And
wow.
Yeah, I can hear that in you.
He did it.
So Don teaching me with all of that coming in me, developed me probably to last in this business for 68 years.
Crazy, man.
I often think, wow, man, a lot of the cats that I knew ain't here no more, that I can.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
And
I have a question.
I had such good teachers, man. Like Red Fox was like my father on the road. Taught me comedy timing, beats, Sloppy White, Moms Mabley. I used to do the Apollo Theater, man, with some of the greatest artists in the world.
We loved Mom.
You had to be good. There's no sliding at Apollo Theater.
All right, Bob has a question for you, Anthony.
I do have a question because we were real young. I mean, Susan was 7, 8, 9. But anyway, I was like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We're having these hit records. But in our situation, a lot of people were actually looking at us to run this thing and make the right decisions musically. They were clueless. Now you're like 20, maybe you're 18 on the 61 hit, but you're going to be in your young 20s on the 64. Do you have a team around you that's finding you songs, or are they looking at you
it was
saying,
really
you're
Teddy.
Get some songs? Yeah,
it was Teddy, really Teddy and Bobby Weinstein and Bobby Hart.
Bobby
Hart's from California.
We know Bobby Hart from we know the Boys. Boys and Hart, yes.
That's him.
Okay.
Were you in on the decision of like, if you hear the demo of
with
So
Teddy,
Bad.
It was so easy. Because man, every time he would play, it was like a shoe. It fit me. I mean, like
that was a beautiful feeling.
Oh man.
As a singer.
I can't wait to try this one out, we did a lot of stuff that was not commercially acclaimed, but artistically acclaimed. And I find some of the stuff we did was far superior than the hit records.
Wow.
It's just one of those things. But that period with Don Costa and Teddy Randazzo so enriched me as a musician. I can't even explain.
And you have carried that with you this whole ride.
Mm-hmm. So you ready for 57 cities?
Oh, you broke my heart, man. Let me tell you, Bob, I was looking, see, that's how they got me back on the tour. Because I was talking to Ron, and he asked me, he said, man, and this is straight up. He asked me, because he knew I wasn't feeling well. We didn't spread it out, but I was hanging there because he thought maybe you want to leave, No, I'm hanging out. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just knew I was tired, listless, fainting, going.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I was getting no oxygen because the heart wasn't beating right. And so I just, show business. The show must go on. If I ever found out who said that, I'm gonna break their leg. I stuck it out and I put a smile on my face, like you taught. Pagliacci, man, you're the clown, but you're breaking up inside.
We know.
And so I had a lot of joy with you guys, with say something, get me going. Bob and I, you and I talked a lot.
We did.
We would sit there and eating or something, and
So are you looking forward to coming back?
you know, the money's good.
I know that.
Hey,
So,
was good.
no, you know what?
Oh,
If you'd have said this to me, Russ, if you said this to me about last year,
yeah,
I think crazy. I ain't going on that tour no more.
right on.
But what my wife said to me, Anthony, you got a pacemaker now, you're doing great, you're riding bike, you're doing everything like you did like a young man.
Yeah,
And the doctor said, you're clean, you're cool, just go, have fun.
right on. Good
And
wife.
when I thought that, she said, well, just to not do the tour. And I said, I'd already talked to Ron. He said, I'm going to cut the tour down. The last time I heard, when I got my itinerary, I got in there, I counted 40, 49 to 50, 51, because the last time we did it was 62.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
No, because when I was talking to Ron, I said, Ron, and I'm not talking about you guys, because you guys are young pups as far as I'm concerned. You just
Great, buddy.
Yeah.
talk about these other people like, Mark and all those old dudes, and Godfrey and
That
all.
old dude just called me the other day. He's
He
doing
did tell us
great.
hello, what's up? So anyway, I
You're
said,
gonna have a
they're
good
not going to
time.
get any younger. I said to Ron, we're not going to get younger. She said, to me, you got to condense this tour, man. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, when you and I, Bob, was talking, you saw me, I was like slinking in the chair, man. I said, I'm tired, Bob.
We didn't know you though. We just thought that maybe you were just
No, I told Bob, I said, I'm exhausted, man.
not right.
I'm really struggling. And I thought we had like 14 more days to go to. So,
But
Oh my gosh.
look. You're gonna be amazing this year because you like your wife said, you
oh
got
yeah, well now I'm not. I talked to Gary Puckett quite a
yes,
few weeks ago.
eternally young Gary Puckett.
Well, he wanted to be on the show, but it didn't work out. He said, "Look, man, we can get a SUV. And I could drive and we can get somebody else to come in, and we could leave, and we could sleep in hotels at night, with clean white sheets and things." Because they really got it together. They would leave every morning at 6, no later than 7.
Oh yes, we've watched.
And every time you look, he was there around 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
What
he
did
knows
you
what he's
decide
doing
to
out
do
there.
what did you decide to do for this coming summer? How are you going to run it?
I'm going to do an SUV. My son is coming out. My Johnny is going to be helping with driving, and on occasion, I don't know. There's a few people that always said they would love to do it.
On the tour, there are guys. There, the Vogue guys like to
Ron said,
drive.
don't worry about that. We'll get you.
Yeah, I wouldn't at all. There's plenty of people to ride with.
So, and I thought, well, I can sleep at night and I don't have to get back in the bunk and like I'm at 83 years old. And I told Ron Dante, I said, Ron, you right behind me, dude. Ron told me, he said he was at a bunk at the top. And he said one day he went to turn over and went,
That's hilarious.
He did.
bullets everywhere. I said, dude, you can't keep doing that, climbing up that top bunk, dude. You're getting there, Ron.
Yeah, he's a diehard, that young man, that young old man.
Yeah, I love it, man. We talk a lot.
We do too.
You
It's a
need-
great group of people. You got
And he
to.
keeps saying, oh, I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't know. I can't do the tour.
Yeah.
And every time I look at him, he takes the tour.
I know.
Yeah.
He does it every year.
Every year.
But,
Every year.
I don't want to just, feather you cats. And, I'm not going to do that. But I tell you, man, this tour, and I've done many, they all got their personality. You guys and
Gary.
and girls and other acts were so compatible with everybody.
Jeez.
It made the tour like a family thing. You didn't feel, I gotta get this over. It was
It's the
always, I
spirit.
would always see one of y'all in the wings looking or something,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah, we love it.
and I'm absorbing y'all, and I would tell people it's the people, man, on that
Right
tour.
on. Right on. That's
Really,
the
people.
best.
My nights at Bud and I told the stories and told him when Mark was able to stay awake,
He's raring to go, guys. He is in.
Oh, he said he's doing much better. Yeah,
yes, he's doing much better.
Listen, Anthony, we want to thank you for spending part of your day with us.
Oh man, this was a joy.
Band's coming back. Where do you
We are
heard
so
the
excited
catalog?
about that.
Yeah,
We're
we
so
are so
excited.
excited about that.
Happy together to all y'all.
Yeah, man. And
We
listen,
are.
Anthony.
Hey, the band is back.
Yeah.
The band
Band's
back.
back. But listen,
It's gonna
y'all,
be something.
Anthony, I want you to know one thing. This summer coming, Polly and I and Bob have put extra honey on our rider. So if you find yourself in a pinch,
Yeah.
you know where to come.
Okay, gotcha.
And really, just one last quick thing. I want to tell everybody out there that Anthony has helped us, the Cowsills, with our singing, and because we kept going to him, man, how are you able to do this? And
For real.
you said, man, 2 teaspoons full of honey before
Yeah,
every
all kind of
show.
crap I've been doing.
Dude, I have been doing that, and it works.
It
does.
works, Anthony. It works.
I tell you what, Tommy James told me we did a gig together in New York a couple of years ago, and I was having really trouble with a cold that I don't get like every 2 years, but when I get it, woo,
Yeah.
and he says, "Man, you did kick some of these cough drops." And I'm going, "Cough drop? Come on, cough drop." It would bring Ricola.
Okay.
Ricola. And I just said, okay, for his sake, he's telling me, "Hey, man, take one."
Tommy.
And I took it. And I noticed that it really coated my chops. I felt I was able to handle it. Now, I don't know what it is, but to this day, I got bags of it.
Well, guess what?
Man,
so
I'm
do we
getting
now.
some
So
Ricola.
do we.
I'll suck on it before I go on stage.
That's
We're
great.
doing it too.
Yeah,
One quick question. So we noticed your first summer with us, you did not do I'm on the outside looking in. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we run out of, we don't have enough songs to make that decision. So are you going to do it this summer?
I think they're going to change it up a little bit. It will still be Hurt So Bad going in my head, the 3.
Okay.
But
yeah.
the other song will be changed probably.
I
I don't know what it might be outside looking in, because Howie Silverman told me, "I'd love to hear you do that, man."
We would too. I have a
Yeah.
question, please, before, and I do have to go, guys, but I got a question for you, Anthony. Wait,
Yeah.
Back on the inside. All right, go ahead. I'm
it's
sorry.
important. So huge Linda Ronstadt fan here, okay?
Oh, Linda, yeah.
So, all right. So I'm a little younger, as you pointed out. And
Yes, you are.
so I'm standing on the side of the stage that night, and you start Hurt So Bad. I hear, "Oh no," and I get these chills, and I'm starting to freak out because I'm sorry, friend, but my Hurt So Bad came from Ronstadt.
What's that?
But then I am listening, and all of a sudden I had a memory of being in my grandmother and her daughter's car, hearing your voice singing it. So it freaked me out. But my question to you is, I want to say something and then ask a question. Her version vocally is identical to everything you're doing from the okay.
Yeah,
So
she did.
did she call you? Did you meet her? How did that
No,
go?
I found out from other people that
Okay.
work with her, know her, and she always loved the song,
Yes.
and she put it to what was happening then.
Yes.
I think, and
Right.
but she praised everything. She tried to keep it within the framework of what I was doing.
Oh.
At least that's what I was told.
No, I can tell you from a listener's point of view, I know that song, and I'm getting chills, and I'm listening to you, and I'm like, I can sing along with you every ism because she copied everything you did.
She did all of
all of it,
the syllables the way I did it.
Yes.
So the only thing that was different was the track. She was doing something really different.
But all what would be your improv, she did.
Yes, she
It's
did.
going to be a little theme for you. Like, we don't have that theme in our, well, a lot of people did Indian Lake. That's not true. But in terms of you, then you're going to have the Letterman, for instance, take 2 of your hits and make them one and have another hit. I mean, when you're all, and this is during the day when I'm sure everybody was working, did you guys have to stay away from each other's venues?
No, we actually worked together in
Nice.
how do you say that in Washington State? Yeah,
Paul
wait a
New
minute.
York. Yeah, Paul
Yeah,
York.
that had that big fair, that big famous fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were on the show. And Tony came to me and he said, man, which I really, then I got tight with him because that's a lot of respect, man. He came to me and said, listen, we do this song, but we rather not do that. If there's any,
While you're here.
take it out.
Oh,
We'll just put it in another way. We'll do the Frankie Valley. They did also the Frankie Valley thing too.
Yes.
You're just
And,
too good to be true.
Yeah, they did the whole thing, yeah. And they, connected them together. And, and I said, no, I said, no, I'll be doing going on ahead. So they didn't do that. How they did it, I kind of stood off on the side and listened. They did a very good job, but they kind of, how they did it, they did this medley, but they.
Yeah, we've heard it. It's crazy how they cut it up. But
they cut it up. And they did a good job on it.
Yeah.
And we did it. A lot of times that is the ultimate respect from your peers when you have somebody comes to you and says, look, I admire the fact that you were the first cat to do this, man. I want it.
Yeah,
Is it
that's
okay?
cool.
Not okay.
I'm
that's
glad
pretty
that's
much,
the story.
that's the tip.
All
for
right,
sure.
everybody. We got to
All
let
right,
this guy
guys.
go.
We
We're
love
gonna-
you, Anthony.
Anthony,
Love
we're
you
going to
guys.
see you soon, buddy.
Looking forward to
Love
seeing
you.
you.
It's going to be a
Looking forward to
blast.
seeing you. And I have our mini raps.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Until you fall
We'll
asleep.
see you at summer camp.
All right, brothers.